So we wanted to organize some discussion around sulfur amino acids and how to revise what we know on sulfur amino acid. I know that both of you worked, Raquel, directly on the molecule, and Joaquim on the interest, in fact, today in the poultry nutrition. Should we remove, obviously we remove the antibiotic, but how we should reformulate and so on. So I would like to challenge both of you on the methionine or sulfur amino acid beyond the normal role for growth and production. But before, I would like to introduce you. So Dr. Raquel Martin-VENEGAS from the University, for the Faculty of Farmacia de Barcelona, and assistant professor, and Dr. Joaquim BRUFAU, well known by everybody, still a member of the board of IRTA, and a nutritionist, and more than a nutritionist because he targeted a lot of topics along his long career. We follow each other for many years, and going from the basic of nutrition, the enzyme, to the alternative to antibiotics, reducing medication, and so on. So I think welcome to both of you. So I would like now just to address the question. Your feeling about the role of methionine beyond the role for pure growth as building blocks. So maybe Raquel to start.
I think that it's important to consider the metabolism of methionine, because during the metabolism of methionine, some other useful molecules as taurine, cysteine, glutathione and other compounds are useful not only to growth or not only to be a structure, but also to improve the barrier and to modulate the immune system and the structure of the intestinal barrier. So it's important to consider the metabolism of also these amino acids.
And that is interesting because it's something new, I would say, in the role of methionine. Even if we target that for many years now, people are still not using these potential benefits. What is your feeling on why people are not, putting more roles or more benefits of sulfur amino acids?
Yeah, probably because the majority of farmers, they're ruling well, but until now they have been the help of antimicrobials or other things, but as soon as the time is going so fast, and in the future the poultry production should be related much more to the sustainability and the environmental situations, and probably even the structure of the farms is going to change in case of the laying hens and so on. So the chickens and the poultry and the layers will be in a different situation, and that play a very important role on the conception of how to utilize amino acids, because Raquel said amino acids is very important in the structure of the functional barrier. The functional barrier, intestinal functional barrier, is going to play a very important issue. It would be considered probably in the future as a good marker, a parameter like a feed conversion rate or feed intake. So people, they will relate it to this, to the how is the structure, or how is the safety of this functional barrier. Methionine probably is going to take a very important role in that. And let me remember the people from the 70s talking about compensatory effect. So that would be very important. So sometimes amino acids is going to play a role of the construction, other maybe plays a role on the microbiota, but finally when everything is covered, the animals with better amino acid composition is going to recover more faster and easy than others.
So this morning we had a speech on methionine benefits under coccidiosis challenge, and we were a bit frustrated to see there is some potential, but maybe there is still some work to do to demonstrate the benefits.
They need to work and follow up 1 week more. Then probably they will find a difference.
When we talk about methionine, we often talk about the different form of methionine, and it looks like it's a specificity of methionine to be usable in its different form. Can you comment on that, the different form of methionine, hydroxymethionine, because you worked on that the past years?
when I started to work with hydroxymethionine and methionine, most of the articles that I read say that they were very different in efficacy because most of times the levels of methionine was measured, and the hydroxymethionine seems to have lower methionine levels in blood or in some tissues. But our research showed that not only have to be considered methionine, but also, and another time with the other idea, all the metabolites that are formed are the same. So if we consider total sulfur amino acids, both hydroxymethionine and methionine were equal, were the same, run the same total. Yeah. So I think that it's important to consider the sum of these sulfur amino acids.
Do you think that we have still some work to do on the investigation to do, on better understanding why, for instance, hydroxymethionine give more cysteine, why? Because these things have been observed, measured, and so on, but we are still curious about how to explain that.
We don't know the answer yet.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important to
continue.
I
think it would be very important because in the functional barrier is also playing a defense about oxidative stress and inflammation. So maybe methionine in summertime, in hot weathers, methionine is helping about that.
So that could be also another potential role. But
to create the barrier, improve the barrier situation.
Yeah. Regarding the way how to influence the end users on that, to say, okay, maybe I can say what we should do as a producing company, even with the others, to really help the people to value better the potential they could have with sulfur amino acids.
First, maybe to fix a protocol for to study stress, inflammation stress in intestinal tract. Can be with a media, or can be about feed composition, to differentiate challenge or feed composition, and then to make controls with diets with less pro-inflammation and to introduce amino acids in different forms, to see if this can overcome the problem sooner or later.
Okay.
I am sooner or later because about these things you talked before.
Yeah. And do you think, for instance, today, because I know that you are working also on the other form of, I would say, amino acids, selenium amino acids, like selenocysteine, selenomethionine, hydroxyselenomethyonine. Do you think that could help us to better understand the functioning, the metabolic pathway of the different form of methionine?
Yes, why not? But in that case, it's difficult to know because one specific amino acid follows its specific metabolic pathway. So it's not you could draw a picture about all the metabolism, but you don't know why or how each metabolite will be upregulated or downregulated depending on the source of the amino acid you give.
So we still need to investigate and to put resource on better understanding the fundamental mechanism.
Try to convince people that diet is very important, not only additives, but the ingredients.
We don't work in interaction, but that should be much more important. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you.